It's not easy being the fastest quarterback you've never seen. I'll be right back. There's no quicker way to get into DFS. Play Super Draft today and see for yourself.
What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing tonight? Joey, what's up, my man?
What's up, Stingray? Man, I don't know. We're just a day after Matt Ryan gets traded to the Colts. And I told you last week, I said Auburn was going to get eliminated early. Did I not say that?
Yes, you did. Congratulations.
Because I am always what? Right.
Sometimes incorrect. You got to do it. You got to do the U sign for knocking off Auburn, bro. You got to do it. They knocked them off.
I guess that's.
And that was an embarrassing loss by the Auburn Tigers. And honestly, this was their year to get it done. And of course, they choked.
Well, we're not here to talk about no college basketball, Auburn basketball, Auburn cross-dressing. We're not here to talk about none of that. Today, we're talking about the biggest rivalry in the college football playoff era.
Yep.
And two teams have dominated the college football playoff era, Alabama and Clemson.
All right, so the Alabama-Clemson rivalry dates back to 1900 and played in Birmingham, which Clemson won 35-0. However, Alabama leads the all-time series 14-5 with no ties. They played again in 1904 and 1905, both wins by Clemson. And in 1905, that would be Clemson's last win until the 2017 season, when Clemson beat Alabama with 1 second left, Joey. That broke a 112-year drought of winning against Alabama. So congratulations to Clemson for getting that win. And also, the Alabama-Clemson rivalry has been one-sided in Tuscaloosa. Clemson has only scored 14 points, and Alabama has scored 228. outside of the college football playoffs, which they are tied 2-2, this is a major lopsided victory for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, it's interesting. They played each other in the college playoffs 2 times, and they're 4 times. I'm sorry.
Yes.
4 times, and they're tied 2-2. I mean, that's incredible. And every year, it seems like Clemson and Alabama are in the playoffs.
Except this past year, because Clemson didn't make it.
Well, I mean, I told you this season that wasn't going to make it, but they still had an impressive season. I think during the season they were 10-3.
Yes.
Is that including the bowl game? 11? Was it 11-3? You don't know, do you?
11-3. 11-3.
That's still a pretty good season. I mean, that's a good season for any team. So, and it's facing the fact that they had a freshman quarterback. They hey, they're going to come back. I really do believe that Clemson is going to have a major comeback, especially in the next couple of years.
Hey, your dog believes so.
Yeah, you're going to rat me out.
Now, Joey, not only are we going to have a star wide receiver and tight end for Clemson on the show, we are also going to be joined by a star running back.
One of the very best running backs ever at the University of Alabama. Go ahead.
Say again?
One of the very best.
Okay, so why don't you go on ahead and throw up the highlights, and I will tell you a little bit about this monster of a man in the backfield. Now, here's the deal. He had 1,512 yards rushing in 3 seasons at the University of Alabama with 20 touchdowns. And he was a matchup nightmare out of the backfield, catching 21 passes for 131 yards over his career. Now, he is also a 2-time college football playoff national champion in 2015 and in 2017, and also went on to play in the NFL. But also one of his major accomplishments is he was in the backfield with the Heisman Trophy winner Derrick Henry, along with Damian Harris and Kenyon Drake.
Mama, get that man. Mama, get that man. Mama, you gotta get that man, mama. Oh, Bo Scarbrough just went to a BYOB party. Bring your boolah. Oh, look at Bo Scarbrough. Now, everybody knows about Bo Scarborough's team, right? They don't need to know more about him. He's a 2-time national champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Bo Scarbrough.
Now it is time to bring on the other guy from the Clemson side of things. And I got to ask you, are you excited about having Jordan Leggett on the show?
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, he's one of the greatest tight ends that ever play at Clemson. So, yeah, I'm very excited.
Absolutely. So let's go on ahead and roll the highlights and check this guy out. Now, of course, like Joey said, he was a tight end. And as a true freshman at Clemson, he played in 10 games, having 10 receptions for 176 yards, and that was in 2013. He went on to become a college football playoff national champion in 2016 and was a first-team All-ACC the same year, and the only bowl loss that he had was in the previous year when they matched up against Alabama and lost down in Glendale, Arizona by a final of 45-40. Ladies and gentlemen, in the game that Alabama lost with 1 second left, Jordan had an amazing 3rd down conversion before Deshaun Watson hit the game winner with Hunter Renfrow, and he finished that game in 2017 with 7 receptions for 95 yards. He was a matchup nightmare. Ladies and gentlemen, the always exciting Jordan Leggett. Ladies and gentlemen, the gang is all here. So, without further ado, let's go on ahead and get this show on the road. Right over there to my right is the legendary, the Clemson ranter himself, just like I was the Mississippi State ranter back in the day. He was the Clemson ranter. Ladies and gentlemen, they're always entertaining and hilarious, and even more funnier than Joey, Clemson Tom. Tom, how are you doing this evening?
Time out.
What's up, Sting?
He's been gone for like 4 months, and you still over here sucking his. You're sucking up to him.
4 months later, and you still have those lines.
4 months later, you still taking care.
Like, seriously, what's your Venmo? We're all gonna pitch in $5.
Whoa, don't you interrupt me. 4 months later, you still taking care of my son. How is my son? Tell your woman.
What kind of show do we walk into?
It's Joey's weak ass crack at jokes. Joey's jokes are so constructed. They went to Georgia Tech and failed out.
All right. On the other side over there, above Bo Scarbrough, is the host of the Bama Standard himself, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Justin Riley. Justin, how are you doing this evening?
Hey, not too bad, man. Great to be here on this colorful panel. And
Yes.
even Joey with his circa 1985 Top Gun glasses.
Let's go ahead and
get
talk
started.
about the greatest rivalry in the college football playoffs, Alabama versus Clemson. And let me just go ahead and say, like we've said over and over again, the series is tied 2-2. And I would like to also mention for all the Clemson fans watching, Clemson has the lead in the series here recently because they actually got Alabama in 2019 when the dreadlocks guy and the long hair guy, Trevor Lawrence, knocked off Alabama 44-16. But let's go on ahead and talk about.
Time out. Whoa, before you even go there, how many national championships have Alabama won since 2014?
A lot.
Okay. So, okay.
Do you even know?
And the college football playoff era, they're tied 2-2. Let's get the facts right.
Yes.
We're getting recruited to Alabama. What made Alabama special to go there?
More about Coach Saban, making you a man and getting you ready for football after life. I had maybe 5 schools that I was looking to go to, and when I sat down in Leggett, one thing that I looked at is which head coach will still be there in my 4 years. And at the time, it was Georgia, which Mark Richt, he had left. And then it was the Ole Miss, which Hugh Freeze, he ended up leaving. And then Miami, Al Gold, he ended up leaving. So, they left Alabama. And I think I made the right choice for Coach Saban. I was with one coach the whole time. And, he made me better as a person, as a man, as a football player. And I just got great things from it.
Yes. Well, Jordan, let's go to you real quick. What about your recruitment? Talk about your recruitment and going to Clemson, please.
I wasn't really a big recruit coming out of high school. My only SEC offer was Mizzou, which I was just happy to get SEC offer at the time. But
Yes.
My biggest thing was I grew up right down the road from Tallahassee, so I was close to FSU. But they never recruited me. Clemson was my first offer, and I want to say maybe that following weekend is when they came down from FSU and offered me. So it's kind of like a slap to the face. So I told them I was just like, whatever. But I just wanted to go to a top ACC school that I was going to have a chance to play top talent, and it just worked out for the best. I got to play, I don't even know how many night games against Bama, against Georgia, against Notre Dame. So, yeah, it was a blast, and it worked out.
Oh, yeah.
So, this question is a two-parter for Jordan and Clemson, Tom, and perspective and a player's perspective. 2016 2015 to 2016 season, Clemson goes to the national championship, face Alabama. Since 1981, the Clemson has never reached that pinnacle. How important was it for you players and Clemson Tom? How important was it for you fans to see Clemson finally reach that pinnacle of going to a championship game?
Jordan, you go ahead and take this one. I'll follow it.
All right. I mean, I feel like we just worked so hard that season to get there, so it kind of paid off. And I mean, like you said, we went against Bama. Like any of our guys have never been to that point ever. We don't know what to expect. We're kind of just looking all the lights. So it was definitely a special moment for us. But like I said, we just never been there before. We didn't know how to act. So I think that's why it ended the way it did.
I will agree. We didn't know how to act. I threw a party the night before the game, and it was at capacity. We partied like we had all won the lottery. We were all trash talking. We thought we were going to win. We had a great team. I was a little hesitant, just knowing going up against Alabama at the time, and it was our first time out there. It was, for me, if we would have won, great. Of course, I knew we were going to win, type of thing. But I knew it was more of a test game for us as well. And then there for a while, I thought we were going to have it. And then the tight end for Alabama just he got drafted based off that game, basically. Just killed it. And then I remember leaving the game, and my wife texted me, and she was like, "Are you pissed?" I'm like, "Absolutely not." I honestly thought we left everything out there. Someone had to lose the game, but it's how you played. And I thought from a fan standpoint, I was very proud of him. I got to boo Lane Kiffin. He looked at me and winked, and I thought that was the coolest thing pregame I've ever done in my life. Besides trash talk LeBron before he hung like 50 on my Magic. But I mean, it was a cool atmosphere. I had never had the opportunity to even go to. But I could have been more proud of the team, the coaches, everything else. But you could tell Alabama, to them, it was just another game, and we had never been there. And at the end of the game, you could tell. But Jordan, I thought you guys played your ass off. I loved it.
Yeah, at the end of the game, I feel like not everybody was so disappointed because it just left a lot of hope. Like everybody's coming back on offense. Deshaun was coming back. Mike was coming back. We had so many guys coming back. So I think it just left a lot of hope knowing we went there and we have the possibility to go back next year.
Oh, yeah. The whole offseason, I'm like, I'm already booking my hotel. Just announced what the day of the game. I've already got it was in Tampa. So I was like, I'm an hour away. I'm good. So, I knew we were going to go back the next season, so it was great.
Well, Bo, going to Alabama for a second, Clemson has always had a wonderful defense under the coach that just left to take over the Oklahoma job. Talk about running against that physical Clemson defense, please.
Well, like he just said, we treated every game like it was just another game. Mm-hmm. And, they defense wise, they had a pretty strong up forefront, and they had a great linebackers also. They were flying through to the ball, shooting the gaps and whatnot. So we knew that we had to be on our P's and Q's when it came to running the ball physically and being the dominant one off the line from the jump of the game. And that's what we did. We just took advantage of it and came out and tried to get a hat on the hat, and dominate the guy across from you. And that's what we did. And they had a pretty good defense, and but we broke in through some loose and kind of broke down the defense and came out to be a great game.
Yes.
You can be honest, bro. Y'all probably would have won if you would have stayed healthy. You can be honest. It wasn't a hard defense to get through, bro.
We say that regularly.
But that brings me back to my next question. What was going on that play when you got hurt?
It was just an outside zone play. And I was waiting to see what Cam was going to do with his block. So I ended up cutting it up inside off of Cam Robinson. And the guy that actually hit me, it was the first guy that hit me, he rolled down the back of my leg. And then I broke my leg. I had a little hairline fracture or whatever. but that was kind of did it. So it wasn't nothing serious, that I had to have surgery for or anything. It was just really just like the little crack that was, taking every place of me not cutting up, doing whatnot, and couldn't really put any pressure on it because it was the fibula, and it pretty big bone. But yeah.
Justin, so what was a fan perspective when Bo went down? You have an amazing game, that 2017 national championship game. I was seeing another national championship. What was your thoughts and what was your feelings when you saw Bo go down?
Well, first of all, to piggyback off Jordan, Bo was running through that defense and couldn't be stopped. He was a madman. Momentum was on his side, and leading up to that game, it had been building and building and building. And to be honest with you, had he not been hurt, Bo, you could have easily got 250 easy. Just the way you were running, the way things were falling in place. But when you went down, it just like this collective win was just knocked out of us as fans. But we didn't lose hope. We didn't jump ship because we still had playmakers in place that could get the job done. It's just a question of who was going to step up next man up. I had full confidence in Josh Jacobs, Damian Harris, and definitely Jalen Hurts, who made incredible impact in that game at several points and made a huge play late in the game where we thought that may have been the final blow, but it didn't turn out to be that way. But at no point did we really lose faith. I just knew it was going to be a war like it always was.
Yes. Well, Tom, I'm sure that you have a question, so go ahead and take it away with your question.
Absolutely. Bo, one of my favorite defensive players for Clemson is Ben Boulware. How much trash talk did he give you? Because I know he was a big trash talker out there.
To be honest, I can't even remember, man.
He was number 10. He tackled you really hard.
Yeah. I know what number he was, but I don't remember him trash talking. Me,
What about our D line? Because the whole line was full of they were just jokes.
I'm gonna tell you, I really don't remember then, man. I was so zoned in, and I was one track mind that I was I can't even remember half of the things that happened during the game. You know what I mean? So I definitely won't
Not
remember.
even in Tampa. Not even in Tampa?
No, not even in Tampa. I don't remember.
Well, I have a question for both of you guys, and all of y'all can join in. But let's go back to the first matchup. Clemson has all the momentum, and Coach Saban calls that pooch kick that Alabama recovered that completely changed the momentum of the game. What were y'all's thoughts about that as a fan, and not only as a fan, but on the field as a player?
I think we were most upset about it because we did the exact same thing in the season, and it didn't count for us. I forget what they called. There was some type of flag, but we recovered it as well. So, I honestly kind of laughed on the sideline just for the fact that they used our play against us, and we weren't even ready for it. How do you have a play that you practice and you don't defend against? So
yes,
it was honestly kind of comical, and that as well as their kickoff return for a touchdown by Drake, that kind of just sealed the deal, honestly.
Yeah.
So
all right, my question to Clemson Tom and Jordan. Jordan, after 4 years at Clemson, you bought into Dabo Swinney's system. Since 1981, Clemson has never saw a national championship. Y'all finally won one. How excited was it for you players? And Clemson Tom, how excited was you to see Clemson win that first national championship since 1981?
I cried. I'm not even kidding. I had a bottle of champagne. I shook it up like I won the daggum lottery. I can still remember the last drive. I could call it play-by-play the whole single time. Jordan, your back shoulder spin to catch the ball to keep us the momentum going. Mike Williams' catch to keep it going. Deshaun running and then getting hit so hard he spun like a load of laundry. And then obviously Hunter's catch. The kick return set it up. The whole drive, I was on pins and needles, man. My wife could have called me. She's like, I'm dying. I'm like, baby, I got to call you back. Give me 5 minutes. The whole last series was just amazing. It's an instant classic. I partied literally all night. Some of it kind of goes in and out a little bit here and there, but I mean, it was awesome. And I knew we were going to win, but it didn't set in until we won. I still got the national championship ring in my room. I don't wear it. It just sits on the case. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful, beautiful day.
As far as the game goes, it's kind of just like a sigh of relief when the clocks finally struck 0. Because, I mean, it was kind of weird how our last drive did go for the fact that, I don't know, Coach Sweeney, it seemed like he was kind of playing it safe, like he was going to kick the field goal and just be done with the game. But like I said, after the game was over, it was just a sigh of relief. We had to keep Alabama running as fast as possible. So I think we ran – it was probably like 115 plays on offense. So we were gassed. I was sore. I was tired. But we stayed up all night. Me and one of my old linemen, Maverick Morris, we were drinking the whole night. We were cutting big old posters down in the hotel. We were the only ones up in the lobby at, I want to say, 6 a.m. So, like, people grabbed us like, hey, we need you to come do Good Morning America. We're like, hell yeah. Like, just shit-faced drunk. It was a blast. Though. We had a lot of fun.
I took the wrong Uber. I hopped in an Uber and she was like, "Are you?" Well, I'm like, "Oh, that's me." And then we started driving. She caught me
that was like Stetson Bennett in this past championship. That Good Morning America the following morning, he was just lit the next day on Good Morning America.
Oh, that was hilarious. That was hilarious.
Well, Justin, Bo, I mean, thought 2 national championships. Now I'm taking you away from the Clemson national championship in 2016. I'm taking you all the way to 10 against Georgia. Saban took Jalen Hurts out. Coach Saban took Jalen Hurts out, puts Tua in. How nervous was the offense to see this young kid get into the game?
Oh, we wasn't nervous at all because we already knew what Tua was capable of doing. Like, we already saw Tua in practice and what he can do. So we were excited to see Tua, get out there and, take over for Jalen. You know what I mean? Because it probably was a lot on Jalen that Coach Saban figured. So that's why he subbed Tua. That's why he subbed Tua in for Jalen. And, Tua came in and did what he did what he do in practice, and that moved the ball, get the offense going. Like, Tua was known for doing that, like, since day one, since he first came in. So we was just excited to see Tua actually play in a real game. And when he did get in, he did what he was supposed to do and, led the team and led her to a championship. And, it was something that we could talk about to this day forever. And, it's a history being made that this guy, took over for Jalen and came back and won the game.
Well, all fairness, almost like, in my opinion, Jalen Hurts is probably one of the best quarterbacks that ever played college football. And it was almost like trading in Dan Marino for John Rivalry. I think that maybe if Jalen Hurts could finish the game, they could have won the national championship against Georgia.
I think so. I think we would have.
Yeah, I agree. Just your take.
Well, I'll answer the first part as far as what was our overall feeling when Jalen went out and Tua came in. If you followed Alabama the entire season and saw what Tua did, when you saw what Tua did when he came in, and whether it's garbage time or whatever you want to characterize it as, he had a grasp on the offense that a lot of 18-year-old kids don't have. He came in, just ready, a grown man, and was making decisions. And you felt leading up to the playoff game and even the national championship game, at some point a trigger was going to be pulled and he was going to come in. And what we saw in that second half was very indicative of just how special he was and just how ready he was. And to Alabama fans, it came as no surprise. But to answer your second question, we still would have won with Jalen Hurts. Just an incredible athlete, but more importantly, an incredible leader. And he was going to find a way to will that team to win the championship. The defense did what they had to do, stepped up, big man Raekwon Davis did his thing, got the ball back. Big man intercepting the ball, taking it back. Gotta love to see that. But that team together had been through a lot of adversity that year because of injury. And I knew because of the adversity they faced that regardless of who the quarterback was going to be, we're going to come out on top.
Yes. Well, I have two final questions for you guys, and it's going to be for the Clemson side of the room. The first one is going to be Jordan. Obviously, Coach Dabo is a alma mater of Alabama. Going into the first national championship game, what was his message to you guys, and especially what was his emotions like going up against his alma mater?
That was such a long time ago. I feel like he was just trying to play it cool, but you can tell he was nervous for sure, just like everybody else in our locker room. It was kind of one of those games where he always tells us it's just another game. No, it's not. It's not just another game. It's our first time being here. So, like, you could tell the whole team was stressed. You could tell he was definitely stressed. There was going to be a lot of eyes on him. And you can kind of tell we were, like, playing to a logo when we first started the game. I think Coach Sweeney saw that as well, and that made him a little bit nervous. But he always has hope. He always has faith. He always believes in weird little superstitions and stuff like that. So he probably had like a little frog's foot in his back pocket or something. So he had a lot of hope, but you could tell he was definitely nervous.
Right. And my last question for you guys is this. Obviously, the other side of the room will tell you that Alabama is going to go back and repeat again as a team that goes back to the 14 playoff. This past season, Clemson was left out. Tom and Jordan, is 2023 the year that Clemson makes it back to the 14 playoff?
No.
Okay.
I disagree.
I don't see it. They got to prove it this year. We could. Don't get me wrong. We absolutely could. I just don't. I got to see him play.
I agree with that. The first couple of games are going to tell me a whole lot about the season, but there's just too much. There's too much to still sort out. Like as far as the quarterback goes, we have a lot of people coming back from injuries. Our offensive coordinator left. Our defensive coordinator left. So it's gonna be interesting. Can they get it done? Sure, but at the same time, like I'm gonna need to watch those first couple games because there's just so much that has changed.
I gotta see if the guys are gonna give up on plays. There's a lot. It's a gut check time.
It's a whole new team this year. It's a whole new team.
We got to change the mentality. We got to go in. I mean, we got to have a chip on our shoulders, honestly.
Oh yeah.
If I made videos still, I'd probably tell them to man up. Put on the big boy britches. Speaking of big boy britches, Jordan, I have something of yours.
I say you have my boxers or something. I never.
Bruh.
Yeah, more likely, yes.
I got your purple britches.
Are those physically like those are mine, or are those just purple pants?
No, these are yours. They were gifted to me.
I don't remember giving them to you.
You didn't.
Man, sounds like one of those movies on Lifetime you see.
I knew you was funny, but I didn't know you was that funny.
I acquired them at an auction. Put it that way. I didn't run in the locker room and steal them.
Send them to me, bro. I'll sign them for you.
All right,
Ladies and gentlemen, we got two of the greats, both Clemson and Alabama. Before we let y'all go, Clemson Tom, tell everybody where they can reach you.
You can reach me pretty much everywhere on social media. It's at Clemson Tom on Twitter, at Clemson Tom on Instagram. You can follow my son, who's on his way to being a pro golfer, at the Xander with an X Wilson. Those are all his medals right there. About to go to Europe and compete, so I'm proud of my boy. Kicking butt, taking names.
Jeez, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. You should pay those airline bills now, Sting. Come on, bro.
Give him an NIL deal, Sting.
Yeah.
You need something.
And people on the Clemson side keep asking me, when is your punk ass coming back to the CTS? Date,
I
time.
told you, I'm a football guy.
You gotta tell people who haven't heard.
I'm coming back during football season. I'm a one sport guy. I'm getting too old. I got dad duties. I barely watch college basketball. I had no idea the March Madness was going on. I filled out a bracket. I didn't know what it was. Apparently, I'm winning as March Madness will have it. Still follow baseball because I love Monty Lee. That's my boy. Used to go hunting with him. But yeah, I'm mostly football now, fellas. So August, September.
Steal his shorts.
Do what? You need to steal some lines
Jordan,
and educate your house.
before we go, Jordan, before you
look like a broke down fraternity house.
Find you on social media.
Mostly just Twitter and Instagram. Jordan Leggett 16. That's about it though. I'm not really too active anymore, but y'all can still check up on me every now and then.
Okay.
And before we let you go, we want to tell you thank you for the memories, man. It was awesome, and even though you beat us 2 times in the national championship, you're still an amazing player, and looking forward to seeing you again. Bo Scarbrough, one of the greats of all time at the University of Alabama. Tell everybody where we can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Starbo06, and you can find me on Instagram at 5TARBO. Yeah, this is my Instagram. They're the only 2 I got. And if you got Facebook, Bo Scarbrough.
And ladies and gentlemen, last and certainly not least, the charismatic powerlifter, Justin Riley. Tell everybody where we can find you. And tell everybody about that little fruity show you got on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central.
Oh, you mean the show that's kicking off your shows?
I don't know.
No, but seriously, no. Like you mentioned before we came on here, I'm the host of the Bama Standard. Bo down there is actually one of my co-hosts. We're on every Tuesday night on the Justin Riley Network on YouTube, and we talk Bama football. We're about 90% nonsense and 10% actual sports talk. So a lot of time is spent joking on each other, and we ask about maybe 3 football-related questions just to appease the old heads who watch the show. We have legends on every single week. We have a great time, and our next show is going to feature Alabama legend Kerry Good. Has been with you guys.
He's
That's
awesome.
right.
To visit with us.
That's
He's
right.
awesome.
If you're watching this, turn this off, because by the time you're watching it, it should be over. And one of the greats of all time, Kerry Good, on the Bama Standard. It's going to be a great show. Not only are you going to have Bo Scarbrough, you're going to have one of the greatest running backs ever, Kerry Good. 2 great running backs, one show, the Bama Standard, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central.
Also, we're going to have a couple of surprise guests tomorrow night who are going to say a few things about Kerry Good. Also, my other co-host are comedy legend Steve Brown, senior analyst of Touchdown, Alabama Magazine. Stephen M. Smith will be there, and legend who plays linebacker, Mr. Marvin Constant.
Last question before we go, and it's going to end. It's going to close.
Yeah, last question.
No, I'll tell you when you can go. Hold on.
Why y'all
Here we go.
Tony Brown?
Last question.
That's the question we need to answer right now.
What was it?
I said, why y'all lied to Tony Brown?
What you mean?
About Tony Brown.
hey,
Y'all lied to him.
Damn about no Tony
What are
Brown.
y'all talking about? What's the question? I don't understand.
Listen.
It's Alabama stuff, Jordan. It's beneath us. Of course, I don't understand it.
No, on that final play, apparently our DB Tony Brown had been holding a grudge to fuel his fire the entire offseason and regular season. And 2017, when we got that 24-6 victory, he had a very colorful interview where he said that both Dabo and Hunter Renfro lied to him about what direction they were going, and
Hunter Stibbs lied to everybody. That's why he's burning all those DBs.
Yeah, number 2.
He's just mad because a 5'5" white kid that looks like the water boy burned him all game. I'd be saying some stuff in the media too.
Hey, we low-key
Since we
won that game, we did have 2 illegal picks against y'all, but we won. So
that's what he was talking about. But no, it was a hilarious interview though. If you ever get a chance, check that out. It's good stuff, man. Tony's a good guy.
He's just mad Hunter burned him all the time.
Well,
oh my God.
This is the official close. Jordan Leggett, Bo Scarbrough, 2 great legends. We got the 2 internet sensations, Sting and Clemson Tom. Justin Riley, the host of one of the greatest shows on YouTube. from the CTS Network. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out.